So I wanted to do an earnings all-star this week on the hottest earnings charts, as I usually do. And I thought, oh, sure, there's going to be some tech names in there and whatnot. But surprisingly, the 5 hottest earnings charts for this week are not in the tech area. I know, shocking, right? Where are they, and why are they so hot then if they're not in tech? I dug them out deep out of the well of the 400 that are reporting, so let's dive right in and see what they are. So the first one out of the gate is an old company, a railroad, Union Pacific, ticker UNP. They've been around over 150 years now. I don't even know how long. It's forever. But as you can see, look at their chart. It's hot. It's breaking out to an all-time high here on the pandemic and demand, and everybody shipping things across the country. So Union Pacific, remember, has the big ports out west, and additionally, it goes along the US-Mexico border. So it has those popular routes with goods coming across the border as well. So Union Pacific is one of my favorite railroads. As you can see, again, it's got a good track record of beating. The last 2 misses were a couple quarters ago, but they've turned it around and they beat the last 2 quarters. So this is definitely one on the transports everybody should be watching. Then switching over to retail, Tractor Supply. So a couple of years ago, further back than what this chart shows, Tractor Supply was among the hottest of the retailers. But then it hit a little bit of a bump in the road and the shares sold off. But now they're back in favor during the pandemic as everybody's been racing out to buy goods for staying at home. Remember, Tractor Supply is found mainly in non-urban areas, in the rural areas. And even though tractor is in its name, it sells mainly like lawnmowers. It doesn't really sell the big, you're thinking John Deere type tractors, but it sells the lawnmowers, it sells clothing, footwear, seeds, things like hay. So Tractor Supply, also big on online sales last quarter, and that's really why you're seeing these surge in the shares, because it is figured out online as well. But can it continue to break out even further here? It looks like it's trying to. We will see. Then I'm switching over to one of my favorites, other retail type of companies, Pulte Corp, ticker POOL. Well, what did everyone want this summer? They wanted the pool. You couldn't really get one. They were sold out everywhere. And remember, Pulte Corp is global, so they have a big division in Australia and that part of the world, which will be entering into its summer. So will they be buying the pools and supplies over there more than in North America here for the next couple of months? Probably. But this one has been red hot, as you can see, totally busting out to new 5-year highs here. It's put together a good track record with the 5 beats in a row. So that hasn't been a problem. But again, valuation could be in play here and just meeting the demand. Can it meet it? That is a big question this quarter. Then we're switching over to another hot area that's totally trying to meet the demand, the home builders. So Pulte Group, PHM, is one of the largest of the national home builders. So it's going to give us a good idea of what's happening in many, many states, not just a handful or a dozen, but I think it's in over 29, 30 states now. So that's a good idea of what's going on. But with mortgage rates at all-time lows, people are rushing out to buy because it's suddenly cheaper to buy a house than it is to rent one. And people want their own house. They want to get out of apartments due to the pandemic. They want a backyard, and they want to go new if they can. So Pulte Group, this is a hot one. It's got a great record. It hasn't missed since our data began there in 2017. And the shares now busting out to 5-year highs. Usually when housing gets hot, it's a multi-year trend, not just like one kind of small rally. So can this stock continue to run here? Unlike some of the others, valuation is not the issue because earnings are rising as quickly as the share price. So the valuations are actually still really cheap here with most of the home builders. So that's not an issue. But this is one to tune into if you're wondering or investing in the home builders and want to know what's going on. And then we're going to wrap it up with the stock I don't think I've covered in quite some time, Illinois Tool Works. This is a hot one too, as you can see, busting out to 5-year highs. And this is far from technology. They're more on the manufacturing side, and I had to look it up. They have 7 segments now, including auto, food equipment, construction products, welding, polymers and fluids, and test and management and electronics. So that's a big variety of areas. A lot of them must be doing pretty well here for these shares to be busting out. It did have a big beat last quarter. That was during the pandemic. So what's happening now that we're reopened? Can that continue on with this momentum? Just the one miss there in 2018 since our data began. There in 2017, so a good track record of beating, but this is an old school name too that not many people paying attention to, like all of these, because none of them are in the tech or social media or any of those areas really, but all these charts are hot, breaking out to new 5-year highs. So there are a lot of hot stocks right now, and I'll be covering all of them on the Earnings All-Star charts, or as many as I can fit in. But this video is just a reminder that the hotness doesn't necessarily extend just to FANG-MAN, or the tech stocks. You can find the hot stocks in a lot of different areas. That's a sign of the bull market, and I'm going to be covering them, as I said, all earnings season long. So be sure to get all of my videos on Zacks.com/YouTube. You can subscribe right there, or you can check out my Twitter feed. I'll be tweeting out these videos plus many more earnings charts that just can't fit in. So be sure to check out my Twitter feed at Tracy Reinick, but be sure to get us somewhere, and I'll see you again next time with some more earnings charts.